closer here. Where do I begin? Oh man. So it's been a little bit of a roller coaster over here. God, this lights. Hold on. So the past, I'd say almost a year now, it's been kind of a crazy roller coaster for me. I'm not gonna go super into details, but I ended up getting a new job. Still in California, unfortunately. I'm wearing a hoodie because for some reason it went from, I don't know, about 98 degrees to today's like 70. So it's been cold past couple of days here. So, but yes, I'm still in California. I still have vehicles. I'm still working on vehicles. Haven't really been filming. I have a shit ton of film that I've uploaded and edited and everything like that you guys are seeing. Those videos are actually of the Jeep, and those are I'd say from last winter, so from 2023 until I'd say like March-ish of 2024. I had a bunch of EVO content and I nixed that. Reason is, well, I sold the red EVO. It's been a long time coming, but let me explain, because there's it was for the better. So I do over here, I have a bunch of parts just from the EVO. I ended up parting the car out. Someone bought the chassis. They only needed to cut the back half, which is perfect because it was a salvage title. So I kind of asked the guy, you know, what happens to the body? He's like, basically it ceases to exist ever again. They pull it from the records and say under the records or something that it was crushed, salvaged, whatever. So he only needed the back half. It was perfect for him. It was perfect for me too, because I got a little bit of money out of it. I got like $1,200-1,300 out of the car, out of the chassis. And when I mean chassis, I mean there was nothing left in it. The only things that were left in this car was the glass. That's it. That is the only things left. It was literally a hovercraft. If I have a picture, I'll put it up on the screen of the car, but the picture I think has a couple little things in it, but there was nothing in this car. It was like a bare shell, to the point we had to lift it onto the trailer, and then the dude, he winched it on the rest, and we had just jacks. It was just, the back half was just sitting on jacks. So a lot of stuff I had left over. I had the motor, had a bunch of other little parts. Motor is sold. The block is sitting right next to me. I gotta ship that out. It was cheaper actually to pull the whole motor apart, ship it out in pieces. I still have a little bit of stuff, some spare parts. I still have all the control arms and stuff like that. I still have the gas tank. Just a bunch of random stuff left over. Most of the bigger ticket items are gone. I kept a lot of the parts for my own personal, like the wheels, the BBS wheels. Those are kind of like a closet sale. So basically they were my boy's wheels. I bought them off of him. I said if I ever get rid of them, I'll only sell them back to him, and he would hold on to them, and it would just be seesawing back and forth. We'd basically just borrow them, loaning them to each other. But as of right now, I own them. So with that, the EVO is gone. I'm kind of happy and sad because I really like the red EVO. I just love the red car. Consider the fact that what I spent, I mean, the paint wasn't that great of a paint job, but I spent, I'd say upwards of like $5,000 on paint, body work. But the engine bay wasn't, it looked like complete shit. The exterior looked good. The rest of the car looked good, had the black painted roof and everything. But you know, I spent all that money on the chassis and everything, and I'm just like, I was at a loss because I couldn't drive the car anyway. Even once it was so close to being done, I wouldn't have been able to drive the car anyway, you know? So I just bit the bullet, gutted the whole thing, sold it, parted it out, sold everything, kept a lot of the parts, like I said. And it was a good reason for that. And judging by the title of the video, you should already be able to guess what kind of car. You can put two and two together. New car, kept old EVO parts. Kind of obvious what I bought. So yes, behind the camera, actually it's kind of off to this side. I don't have much space in my garage because the EVO's Car is right over here. I'm gonna show you guys in a second of the car. Those videos you've seen of the Jeep, those are actually old videos. Jeep's sitting outside right now. It hasn't moved in like 6 months, so I actually have to charge the battery. But that's kind of like just a small breakdown of where I've been. I haven't disappeared anywhere. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. I have a bunch of stuff that I'm working on right now, so it's kind of like chaotic, and just coming home just tired and just having to think about editing, it was just a pain in the ass. So I do apologize. These videos are going to be very basic. There's going to be not much music. It's just going to be time lapses and stuff, and I guess it's one of those things where, you know, the quality of your content suffers, but at least you're getting something, you're consistent with something coming out. Besides the Jeep stuff, I don't really think that's super popular. The WJ was, but the ZJ, I don't know if it's really that popular, but in the new car, I've already done a lot of work to it, so once you see it, this is not how it looked, and I will put up a picture of the car once I reveal this, of how it looked when I drove it home. Quick backstory of the car. I'm gonna be clear as mud right on this one. I did not pay a lot for this car. So originally the owner wanted 20K for it. It was out in Lancaster, which is about an hour outside of LA, just north of it. And I was going back and forth with the person, and I was talking to his wife. It was his car, but his wife was on Facebook, so I was talking to her through Facebook Messenger. They wanted 20K, they dropped it to 18, and I saw that. I just started picking their brain, talking to them about it. I said, hey, you know, the paint looks kind of rough, how's the paint? You know, they said it's partially blah, blah, blah. Everything's going on, which you'll see in a second. And then I hit them, you know, after finding out all the information with the car, I hit them, hey, would you take 15K for the car? I was just like, and I'll come pick it up. So they said yes. She like immediately responded yes. I was just like, oh shit, okay. And she's like, you can come pick it up this weekend. And it's like, I think it was Saturday. And she said, you can come pick it up this weekend, meaning the following weekend. And this was the weekend just before Labor Day. So I've had this car for a little bit. And I was just like, oh, shit, what do I do? Because I don't have a truck anymore. So I can't just tow it back. I was trying to rent a U-Haul truck, but they wanted, it was gonna be like almost like $480 to rent it for a day. So I was just, because of all the miles, they charge you like 87 cents per mile. So and it was like 300 miles, 330 miles. I'm like, this is gonna cost me an arm and a leg. My neighbor has his trailer, he was gonna lend me his trailer. I'm just gonna drive down there, and I'm gonna go pick it up. There's no airports in the vicinity. I'd still have to take an Uber for like an hour. So I'm just like, there was a lot of logistics going on. With that being said, I ended up driving down there and went to look at the car, and seeing it up close, I'm like, oh, I was excited. But then seeing it up close, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of imperfections with this paint. So kind of going over the car, kind of looking at some parts and stuff like that, and seeing, hey, this is kind of wrong with it. Hey, this is kind of wrong. So then I said, can we go? I need to test drive this car. I'm new-ish to Evos, but I'm not like a complete super noob on them. So I know certain things to look for, transfer case, the brake squeal, which is normal, but transfer case, transmission issues, those were the two big ticket items that I was looking for. Rear end clunking, or rear diff noises, a lot of the drivetrain issues. So this car is pretty much bone stock. When I was looking at it, we take it for a test drive, and I hit third, and I hear a slight grind. I just hear it's real quick grind. Wasn't terrible, wasn't like, you know, like literally just metal on metal. Wasn't like metal on metal grinding and everything. You could just feel it when you put it in gear. And I looked at the guy, the father, because he was there. So I'm in this car with the father's at his house, and I was like, oh, that's a third gear grind. I was just like, and it was consistent. And I said to him, I was like, unfortunately, I was like, I have to make sure this is consistent, and it's not just like a clutch issue. And it was consistent every single third. Third was the only gear that grind. First was good, no pop outs on any gear, but first was good, second was good, fourth and fifth. Third was the only gear that grinded. So now I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, we get back to the house and I'm talking to the guy and everything, and I'm just like, can you call your son up? So he calls his son up, talking to him on the phone. I'm like, hey man, you know, I really like the car, this and that. It's like, but there's a problem. I was like, transfer case is whining and third gear grinds. I was just like, I'm looking at another $4 grand just to repair that stuff, repair it. So I was just like, how much more flexible in your price? He said, I could come down to 14K. I said, I got 13.5 right now, all cash, or 100% cash, give it to your father. And you could see, you could feel the defeat in him, and he was kind of like me, where just like, all right, whatever. So he accepted the offer. 13.5, went to the bank, got the cash, paid the father out. They signed a title over to me, and we were on our way. We drove, it was like 8 hours back, because we made some stops, so I had someone following me. But we made some stops along the way. Car ran beautifully, no issues whatsoever. The car ran beautifully. I mean, gas mileage just sucks in EVOs, but no issues whatsoever. AC worked, windows worked. Radio was weird. I can't get the radio. It works sometimes, so I had my phone just sitting in a cup holder blasting music. So made it home, and we made it back around, I think it was about 8 p.m. So still light out and everything, and neighbor across the street came over and they're like, oh, I got a new project car, this and that. So I pulled the car and I was looking at the car, I'm like, I don't like how it sits. Well, lucky for me, I pulled the coilovers off of the red car, so I slapped the coilovers on. I didn't get done until it was like 10 o'clock at night. I'm sitting there dropping the car, put the wheels and tires on. They weren't spaced out at the time because I didn't have the extended studs. Very next morning, I ended up calling in sick to work. So next morning, put the front lip on, put a bunch of parts on. Okay, but I mean, the whole car looks completely different. It looks like my red car, only it's not red anymore. Still need to change the oil. I haven't changed the oil in it. But just changed all the brake pads, put the spacers on, got the extended studs in, got the new wheels and tires on, trunk swapped out the sunroof because the sunroof didn't work. So I still have the old sunroof sitting here. And I'm an idiot, I pulled the whole sunroof down when I should have just swapped the motor to make sure just the motor worked, but you know, small brain moment. But yeah, I guess it's time to show you the car now. So I don't do any fancy reveals or anything like that. I'm kind of just a revealer. I just reveal everything. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to feast your eyes on my new to me, not salvage title, clean title, 2003 Mitsubishi EVO. Yes, yes, yes. Your boy got a Blue Bayou EVO. That is why I bought this car, because this color is, in my personal opinion, a very, I don't know about very, but it is a rare color. You don't really see Blue Bayous too much. The paint needs some work. My boy's gonna be taking care of that. He already said he was looking at all the scratches. He's like, I could get pretty much all of these out. I do want to look into getting PDR, because there's a ding, I think, in this door, the front bumper, that is the worst of the paint. You can see it's all peeling over there. This has a lot of like rock chips, so you know the car's been driven. It has 185,000 miles on it. To be honest with you, miles don't scare me. They never have, they never will. And it's mainly because I have a little bit of mechanical knowledge where, you know, most people see those miles are like, well, I got to replace this and I got to do that, and they don't want to do the work. I don't mind doing the work, even though sometimes it frustrates me. So miles didn't really bother me. This fender is also, you can see it's boogered. So this is just down into the clear coat, and this isn't really into the paint. So that's a huge plus, where they may be able to just sand it and re-clear everything. So I'm going to be going to a body shop hopefully this coming weekend, which, I mean, when you guys are seeing this video is probably way weekend later. I have the carbon trunk on there, the JDM tails. It has some exhaust, I think it's a Perrin, but we're going to be getting rid of that. It's too quiet for me. Before we go into, actually, you know what, there's not much to see in here. Let's pop this bad boy up. So here's the motor. Like I said, it's pretty much stock. It just has this janky little pipe that's I hate, and then it has a cheap little K&N intake, which I hate. I think the K&N makes noises at like 2,000 RPMs. It starts making like this. these weird high-pitched noise and it just goes away. Valve cover, mint. This is not going to be sold. This is not going to be stripped. This is just going to be held onto because this thing is still mint. It does not have the typical EVO paint peel everywhere. You see a little bit in here. Like I said, it's pretty much stock. Has some shitty wiring in here, which the battery is going to go into the trunk eventually. That'll be one of the bigger projects. Intake manifold is going to be gone because mine is sitting in a corner there, so it already has the EGR stuff. So this is all blocked off as well. So go into the interior. I did already clean the interior out. I didn't clean anything on the dashboard really. Don't mind the carpet. It's already kind of like dirty. These were the seats out of the red car. The camera makes them look absolutely filthy and disgusting and absolutely thrashed. They're not. They're actually in better condition, minus this little poop hole right there, which you can't see anyway because it's blurry. There you go. It's right there. But these seats were clean. I sold the other ones, the other two fronts, but these will get reskinned. I'm going to drop this car off at an upholsterer because the headliner needs to be redone. But I'm gonna have them reskin them. I'm really just keeping the seats because I want the centers, this Recaro and the center. This is both in good condition, minus the hole. So very period correct. The previous owner owned this car for 11 years. I think he's the second owner of this car. Owned it for 11 years. Daily drove this. Was his first major purchase of a vehicle. But as you can see, this is really like period correct. It's got this little Blitz boost controller thing. I don't even touch these because I don't want to screw anything up. So I don't touch it. I just leave this exactly how it is. Has the old Apexi turbo timer, so I actually hate this because when I turn the car off, it continues to run for 30 seconds sometimes. But I hate it. Got all these gauges which I don't like. You know, I'm very simplified, so I'm going to run a single gauge right here, a BTI gauge, and that way that'll just give me a readout for everything, and that's all that'll be in here. Back seats, you know, don't mind, that's actually lighting right there, but back seats are clean. I swapped these out because the other ones were faded up top because there's no window tint, so they got really faded. This car's set outside, but overall very clean back here. The thing I like about this car, one of the things I like, is that the trunk doesn't open. Hold on. Go gadget head. As you can see, well, it's pretty dirty. I haven't cleaned back here. As you can see, it has all of the interior pieces, everything, even the backing. That oh god, I love that. Let's see if I can do this. Still has spare tire, everything back here. Someone spilled coffee, I think, on this thing because. So where does that leave us with this car and what we're going to be doing? I kind of went over some of the stuff. Sorry, I have like a million messages over here. This car's going to be basically stock. We're going to do your typical bolt-ons. I'm going to be doing obviously a new exhaust because this is way too quiet for me. Tints. I want to have this car tinted. It needs it. That's really it. I hope you guys are ready for this car because this car is going to be just a driver. It's not going to be anything fully built yet. I'm not going to go balls to the walls. I have been eyeing 6470s, the next gen 6470 turbo. So we'll see how that goes because I still have a lot of parts here that, you know, I technically can use. This car is getting registered in my home state because thankfully, being military, we can do that. Yeah, I've already, you know, overstayed my welcome with this video, so I hope you guys are excited. I'm sorry I haven't been really around for all 200 of you that are subscribed. I got nothing else for y'all. Bye.
I swear to God, man, I'ma make it soon. Silence all the haters as they see us making moves. I do what I want, so I got nothing to prove.